Yankee White Show. I'm your host, Yankee White. As you know, this show is about self-reliance, and a cornerstone of self-reliance is self-awareness. One of the things that's going to get you killed when you're trying to do everything on your own, say living off the land or going out on a solo hike or solo climb, is not being aware of your own shortcomings. What are you inexperienced with? What don't you know how to do? And these are the things that result in mechanical injury, equipment failure, or death. So, today's episode is all about how to improve your position after mechanical injury, such as a break, a sprain, a gunshot wound, or any other kind of wound, say getting shot or stabbed by your own weapon or tool, falling out of a tree, landing on a sharp stick. We're going to go over how to apply tourniquets, when and where to apply a tourniquet, and when to just rub some damn dirt on it. A few things you can do to put yourself on a better path, and number one would be to sign up for a CPR class. Get yourself some CPR instruction. Find it anywhere. You can usually do it online. You don't even have to leave your house. The next thing you want to do, get on the internet and see who's offering a first aid or first responder class in your area. There's usually a lot of them available. Just check out some reviews on it. Make sure it's a quality class, taught by a quality instructor. The next thing you can do is pay a couple bucks, go to your local library, and check out some books. I know, books, antiquated. But you can learn a lot just by reading it. Just go through cover to cover, check some things out, learn how the body works, learn how to handle shock, how to prevent shock, what to do in the case of a break or a sprain, how to identify the difference, bruising, contusions, that sort of thing. Learn how to treat those injuries, because you're going to come across a few if you're out in the woods. Short of that, and a big drawback to book learning, is your best buddy may not want you cutting into his skin so that you can practice your suturing. So, to get some quality field experience, hit up your local recruiting office. Ask them about the medical corps. A tourniquet could save your life. If you are wounded too deep that just pressure is not enough to stop the bleeding, you're going to want to use a tourniquet. What I have here is some 550 cord and a stick. Length of 550 cord, I'd take about maybe 2.5 feet, and get yourself a pretty solid stick, piece of wood, dowel, pencil, tool, anything that's just not rough or sharp that's going to cut into your skin any more than you already have. So today's video about improving your position is going to start with what to do when you've gone too far. I mean, like, if you cut yourself, or a sharp stick goes too far. Identify the issue. If you're out bow hunting and you get a bolt shot through your arm, what are you going to do now? Well, if you're by yourself and somehow shot yourself in the arm with your own arrow, don't fret, you might not die. First thing you're going to want to do is come down to this side right here where the fleshings are. Fleshings, right here. Okay? You're going to want to break this son of a bitch right off. Break it off. It's going to hurt like hell. The best thing you can do is support your arm on a log, down tree, your own leg, something, because you don't want this fucker torquing. You're going to support your arm. You're going to break off the arrow on the side of the wound with the fleshings. Once these are broken off, and you're left with this, this part's going to really suck. You are going to now grab a hold of this arrow, find a happy place, and pull until the bolt is gone. Keep in mind, removing the item that was stuck in your fucking body is now going to allow you to bleed profusely and almost uncontrollably. So don't remove the item until you're ready to treat. If you don't have to, leave it in. One of the best things you can do in a situation like that, especially if help is available or you haven't completely gone off the grid and you're able to get back to your vehicle or to the roadside so you can call for help, break the fleshings off anyway, just to prevent it from snagging on. The next thing you're going to want to do is get this arm up. Get this arm up so that the blood is not constantly dumping out of the hole that you put through yourself. So, let's say it's a 7-day excursion. You're out in the middle of nowhere, no reception, and no way of getting back to town to treat it. Remove the arrow. One of the best things you can have, a prefab tourniquet, because this is also multi-useful. I can use this as a part of a mortar and pestle. But you take a dowel, a couple of overhand knots right here, about 2.5 feet of 550 cord, you're not gonna miss it. And for our purposes, I'm going to mark where I somehow shot myself through the arm. So there's my wound right there. You'll know the spot on your arm where the wound is because it'll be dumping gallons of blood. So what we're gonna do, and this is important, keep the tourniquet between the wound and your heart. So in our situation here, I got the wound right here on my forearm. Between this forearm and this heart, I'm gonna place my tourniquet. All right, now how to do this. You're gonna take this guy right here. You're gonna lay the bad boy over. I'm gonna fish that through right there. Okay. Now, snug it up. And I'm going to, so you can see this, I'm gonna fish this through. Okay. Twist and get some pressure on there. Okay. I'm gonna twist and turn until the bleeding stops. When that bleeding stops, I know I've got the right amount of pressure. Next thing I'm gonna do is lock this dowel in place so I don't have to worry about it. And what I'm gonna do is just dig that in there to the other side of that slack. Pull it nice and tight, no longer bleeding, and I'm secured. I can keep moving, keep trekking. Now, get this bad boy off here. Tourniquet. Damn, I guess that means I got a shower today. So that's a tourniquet, okay? Now, obviously, if you get shot in the leg, and if you're anything like me, your legs are gonna be bigger than your arms, you're gonna need a little more slack than this. That's why it's good to have 550 cord. So that's a tourniquet, real simple, okay? The do's and do nots of using a tourniquet, however. Do not tourniquet an artery. You'll die. Do not put the tourniquet directly on the wound. Don't want to do that. And don't go past the wound. What I mean by going past, here's our wound. Here's my heart. Don't put the tourniquet down here. You're not stopping anything except cutting the blood circulation off to your hand. That's not smart. Not going to help yourself there. So, that said, that's a tourniquet. Let's move on now to antiseptic. Antiseptic. You were a good Boy Scout. You got yourself or Girl Scout. You were a good boy or girl scout. You're a good people scout? You scouted people? I don't know. You were a good person who be prepared always to... Fuck Christ, I don't know. The girls are in Boy Scouts now. You were taught well. You are prepared. You bought yourself an individual first aid kit or IFAK. Put it in your bag. Smart. Big advantage. Very useful. Then you went whitewater rafting and the damn thing fell out of your backpack. Gone forever down the water. So, what do? Well, first, don't drink your own piss. Next, if you are in a region with conifer trees, you can use sap. Sap has great antiseptic qualities. Take out your knife, approach the tree. Using the point of the knife, gouge in. A knot works fine, or at least a joint where a branch comes off of. You'll see the sap. Follow the sap. Stick it in there like a mandrel. Start working it loose. Once you get to a point where the sap is oozing out, start pulling some off. Throw it on a piece of cloth. Works best. Or if you can break off some branches, you can baton it down, split it, and get down to that pith, and really eke out some quality, some good amounts of sap. Take your sap, give it a little shot right there, make a salve, put it on your cloth, directly to the wound. Antiseptic properties. Tobacco has great antiseptic properties. So, first aid spray gone, don't fear. You got your pouch of chew, your can of dip, or a pack of smokes. Reach into that pocket of yours, pull out your pack of smokes, and remember, cigarettes could save your life. Next, my personal favorite is what to do when you're down a limb. You got a flat tire. Kind of screwed if you're on a hike, because the fun's over at that point, but never fear. You got a belt, some 550 cord, extra shirt, any kind of cordage or wrap, you can make yourself a splint. We'll go over splints in more detail in a later video. So a cornerstone of self-reliance has always been self-awareness. Being aware of what you can and cannot do. If you push yourself too hard when you're alone, you could find yourself dead, injured, struggling, hungry, or drinking your own piss. Either way, you need to be smart. I love somebody that challenges themselves and pushes themselves to the limits, but don't be an idiot about it. If you want to go out into the desert and wander around for a couple of days, more power to you. Just make sure you've got plenty of water, because the desert's not going to give up hers. If you're going to climb that mountain that you've been looking out the window on the school bus since you were a little kid, go for it. But make sure you've got the right equipment and you know how to use it. Don't take unnecessary risks while you're by yourself, because that results in mechanical injury or even death. So be smarter than that. So that's tourniquets, antiseptic sprays, or the lack thereof. Where to find the nursing station in the middle of the woods. This channel is about self-reliance, but it's also about self-improvement. And you don't have either one of those without self-awareness. Then one of the best things you can do for yourself is to pay attention to your weaknesses, the things you don't have experience in, and the things that you know you need to build on. I made a joke about joining the military for medical training, but it's not really a joke. It's free experience. You can do your part to serve your country and help your fellow man or woman or whatever in between. But the bottom line is, if you're just looking to learn something new to help yourself because you got that pool installed and you want to make sure little Johnny and Susie are going to be safe around it, nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't matter if you're a banker, a doctor, a lawyer, or mechanic, carpenter. Whatever you do in life, you should always strive to be the best, not just good enough. Nobody wants a C- brain surgeon. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is learn how to weigh need versus want. I want a lot of cool things, a lot of neat things that I see on TV. I think they're great. They're really wild. I don't need any of them. And every day I need less and less. You may notice I'm wearing a Mossy Oak t-shirt. It's not because I like the camouflage lifestyle or I'm some sort of avid hunter that walks around with a Budweiser cap and drives around in a big jacked up F-150 with mud tires. It's because it was $5. It was long sleeve and I needed something to cover my skin from the sun. That's it. It's the only reason. Learn what you need, and that will become what you want. Today's video, pretty short. Tourniquets and how to treat scratches. Not especially detailed, but that's okay. If you need to learn how to use a tourniquet or make one or treat a burn or sting on a hike, Google is there for you. You can search it and find a million pages that'll tell you exactly how to do just that. I wanted to make this video about improving your position, and I'm sure a lot of people immediately thought that would be finding an elevated location to scout or survey the land, and it could be. But more importantly, you need to improve your position in here. When you're out in the wilderness, if you get lost and you start panicking, you're going to miss a lot of important information. Cooler heads will always prevail. And if you're not one of those people, then you need to work on it. Because if the government turns into some tyrannical dictatorship and you freak out, you will die. Because you're not going to turn into Jack Ryan by acting like a jackass. One of the best things you can do for yourself and your family is learn your weaknesses and improve on them. And if you can't improve on them, avoid them. You're stressed out. It's a shit hits the fan type scenario. Everybody's mad. Everybody hates each other. They're all hungry. They're all scared. And it's going to fall to you. Are you a leader or are you a putz? Can you calm everyone down? At least keep them from killing each other long enough to self-rescue or signal for first responders to get to you and get you out of your situation. When it comes to wilderness survival, I'm not the expert, I'm not the authority. I just know what I know because I've gone through it. So all I can do is tell other people what I've used and what I've learned and what's helped me get through some hairy situations. There's better methods out there. There's a lot worse methods out there, but there's better methods out there. You need to use what works for you. In closing, I just want to remind everybody that it's okay to not be an expert. It's okay to not be Cody Lundin, walking barefoot through the woods, knowing how to make fire from nothing. That's all right. Just be better. Continue to improve on yourself and you will improve your position. It takes the time to go through your equipment. Learn how to use your equipment. If you have a knife like mine, learn what these are for. Learn why I would have this. Figure out why we would do a blade drop like this. Just for instance, the time to learn how to use your equipment properly is not under duress. I can tell you that. Thanksgiving's coming up. Right after that, we got Christmas. It's a good time for some inward reflection and really take stock in your life. Find out what's important, what you need to change, and what you need to improve on. Build from that. Get your house in order, and then you can take on the wilderness. Until then, remember, we're all out there together. Yankee White, out.